Hey there, welcome to the very first episode of Doodles to Dazzle. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Barbara. Together, we're Charbi.
Today is a very special day as we are launching not just our first episode, but also it just happens to be Barbara and I's first, no, not first, seventh anniversary. Sorry.
You better remember the amount of years we've been together.
It always feels like it's only been 1 year. I'm just
Not true.
That's a fumble on my part. I think I'm a bit nervous because it's a big moment for us. But honestly, I think I'm going to keep this part, hun. Right? Because that was fun. Anyway, since we're launching this first episode, do you want to give them a bit of an idea of what we're going to talk about today?
First of all, happy anniversary.
The anniversary, darling.
Yeah. So today's story is a special one because we're gonna be talking about our own journey and how we started learning art to becoming professional artists over the last 3 years.
And hopefully our stories can inspire you and help you navigate your own relationships and your own journeys that you're on.
I'm also really grateful to everyone who supported our journey so far. Putting ourselves out there for the world to see, it can be scary and intimidating, but I know that if I want our lives to improve and to be better, that we need to be that change and we need to be bold and brave.
I couldn't agree more. So without delaying any further, should we get right into it?
Let's dive in. This adventure all began with my love for anything creative. I've been painting, crafting, and playing music ever since I was a kid. And growing up in an artist family, art was something that was always very much part of me. But something that happens in, artist families is, that they tell you, like, don't go in this direction. There's no money in this. Do a proper career and all that. So I didn't pursue it for many, many years because of all these limiting beliefs that I had to overcome. But yeah, somehow we got here and I overcame a lot of them. And now I think I can call myself an artist, something that I never even dreamed of before. So that's a little bit about me.
I'm the guy who had no idea that I had an artist within me. I don't come from an artist family like my wife here, but I always did have a knack for it because I would always doodle in my notebooks and I would think quite out of the box and for creative solutions. However, I never took it seriously and I always thought that I had to follow a certain path and I always felt like, whatever job or career one takes, you need to be safe and responsible and that sort of thing. And strangely enough, being married to Barbara taught me that, that there was this artistic and creative side within me that was waiting to come out. And we just needed the right recipe or the right circumstances to bring that out of me. And the pandemic happened, which was not great for a lot of people. And, definitely a very tough situation overall. But we saw an opportunity there.
Yeah, I think it, just being married and coming from that whole hustle of, pulling off a great wedding, I think I can say
it was a lot of fun.
We were really happy with that. But then it was also a very busy time for us, especially, we had family coming from
all over
the place. So it was just really busy on so many levels. So when the pandemic hit, it gave us a bit of just time to breathe and we could finally take a moment and relax. And I know this pandemic was not great for a lot of things, but for us, it was a necessary break that we have been craving for such a long time.
It was just great to have a moment for the both of us where we could enjoy each other's company and do stupid things like watching movies and TV shows. And that's what we were doing during the lockdown. The first few months was spent binge watching different TV shows. But that also got very tiring very fast.
Yeah, it just got bored really fast. I mean, we like to keep busy And just sitting in the sofa, it just, it didn't feel right anymore. So we were just desperate for finding a different kind of activity that we could do, both of us.
While respecting the lockdown measures that were in place.
Yeah. So we we just went in our closets, and I had like this box of old paint lying around.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to start painting, but we didn't even have papers. So we had these wooden planks from our wedding that we use as centerpieces on the table. And we just started painting on them. And they became like the start for both of us on our art journey. But the real magic was when we created custom Christmas cards for our family.
And that's when the spark ignited, right? Transitioning from amateurs to professionals. That was something I would have never thought of, and such a roller coaster.
Absolutely. I mean, we weren't just learning how to improve our art. We were learning about business, about marketing, and everything in between.
And it wasn't just about the art journey. I mean, this was a completely new space that we were as a couple, trying to navigate all these different areas in our lives. And there were a lot of moments where we argued, where we laughed our butts off, and where we just grew all the time.
Yeah. One of the turning points that stands out was when we dared to put our first piece up for sale. It felt like, leaping into the unknown, especially because we were struggling financially.
I guess that paid off, right? Because, we got our first sales, right? And a lot of that initial skepticism turned a bit more into excitement. Over time, that's only been growing, where we feel more and more confident in what we've got going on, what we've built, right?
Yeah, and it's actually funny because when we put our art, up there the first time,
Mm-hmm.
I know for sure I didn't think that my art was so special. I always believed in Charlie as a big artist, but I was really struggling a lot to see it for myself. I felt like a fraud. I struggled with a lot of imposter syndrome. So when we got our first sales, and and my art sold also in one of those first sales, I was really blown away. I could not believe it.
That's crazy.
That was a crazy thing.
Yeah.
That was a crazy thing. Yeah.
So then fast forward to today, is it different for you now?
Yeah, I mean, we are in a very different mind space right now. We developed our skills also so much as an artist, and
Mm-hmm.
for sure, for me, mentally becoming an artist, it's been a really huge transition for me, because now I do believe in my art, and I see my skill, and I see myself putting myself out there, and it's given me a lot of confidence, not just in me as an artist, but also in myself as a person, that I have something valuable to bring to this world. I have something valuable to say. So for me, it has been, a lot of inner growth.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And it's not about just being professional artists or becoming better artists or, improving our techniques and all that, right? It's also, like you said, this growth within that's been so paramount to us coming to this moment right here, but it's also about the constant support we've given each other. I for sure, the support you've given me through all of this, constantly lifting each other up, embracing the unknown, because this can be a very tough journey to take up. And it's so important to have that support system, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I remember the times, so many times I would see something really special in Charlie's art, and then I would just put it on Etsy without telling him.
And I would be like, I don't know why you're putting that one. I only just doodled it, but
Yes.
I don't think that's something that's meant to be, seen by others, or I don't think that's a finished piece, or, that was a failure. I had these kinds of crazy thoughts, and Barbara would just No, just put it out there, put it on social media, put it on different pieces of clothing, put it on a mug, put it on a a t-shirt or a poster. And it's kind of ridiculous what she does, this lady.
Well, I think it's ridiculous sometimes how you see yourself so limited,
And
it's
that's
a different perspective.
exactly. And that's the thing that, she really taught me, that it's so important to understand that even if we ourselves might not think much about something we've created, it's not the case with someone else. There might be people out there who connect with pieces I've worked on, Barbara's worked on, that we ourselves might not think much about because that's something we doodled, or that's something that we personally might have not connected with it so much. But art in itself is such a personal experience for everyone. It's so individual, right?
Absolutely. And I also think as an artist, you're your own worst critic,
Exactly.
and the whole point is to turn that off, because it doesn't matter what you think about what you created. You have to change that mindset. It doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah.
It matters what other people see in it, how they connect with it, if they like it, yes or no. Because when you become a professional artist, you want to make some sales, right? But if you don't even put yourself out there, how are they going to connect with it if it's not there? So you just have to get over yourself and put it out there anyway. And you learn from that process, and you'll see what people are connected with also. But yeah, the biggest takeaway here is to,
take that first step.
Take that first step and just do it anyway. Even if you maybe don't think it's the greatest piece, it doesn't matter. Turn off that critic and do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that surprised me and how this journey shaped our lives is how it actually affected our relationship. It's like how we grew as a couple. That's the thing that really surprises me.
Yeah, we wear a lot of different hats in our relationship. We are husband and wife, we are parents, and now we've become a creative team and business partners, and so many other roles that we have in our journey together. And our respect for each other and each other's talents has just deepened so much.
And I agree completely. We reached a point in our relationship where we've felt stronger than ever before, and that strength with each other has been growing more and more, simply because we're constantly growing each pillar of our lives as a couple, walking in that direction together. And that creates a certain level of harmony that is just honestly very fulfilling, both individually and as a couple, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that doesn't mean that there were times that we don't struggle, that we don't have our challenges, that we don't argue or anything like that. We have all of that in our lives. But honestly, that is completely overshadowed with all the amazing steps we take as a couple, all the great little actions that we take, the support we give for each other, or also for our daughter.
Yeah. And I mean, there were also times where we thought about, giving up this art dream and everything. There were moments where we questioned, everything. It hasn't been an easy journey, but somehow we found the strength to keep going. Somehow, every time in those key moments, I feel like we got signs that we had to, pursue this dream. It could manifest in things like, suddenly getting some sales here and there, or, getting bigger projects like wedding cards or birth cards. Somehow the right things came on our path.
And the right time.
At the right time, whenever we had those questions, when we were doubting ourselves, the right thing came on our path to give us that boost in confidence to keep going.
Yeah, it was especially quite satisfying and quite actually humbling and fulfilling to see the response by just normal people walking on the street at the artist market that we were at a few times. and just seeing how they connected with our art. You'd have someone who would look at one of the one of the paintings of Barbara's cat, and it'd be like, "That's my cat."
Yeah, that was
and that was just amazing.
Yeah,
That reaction.
that was so much fun. One of the people who bought that piece actually sent us a photo of her cat, and I must say it looks really identical.
Yeah, like the photo of the cat with the poster of your painting.
It's cat in exactly the same pose. It's crazy. Like, it's so cool to see that.
Right. And this is something we would have never imagined some time ago. Even now, it's sometimes a bit hard to believe this is how people connect with our art.
Yeah.
And every day we're surprised with the love and support and affection that we receive because of this.
Yeah. For me, that was definitely a special moment on, when we did the artist market. But something that I noticed is how everybody would, when everybody passed by, our table with our stuff, is that how they would just stop. They would stop walking and take a moment to look at it, and they would start smiling. And that's really why we do what we do, right?
Yes.
We want to invoke some kind of emotion. We want to make this place a little bit more beautiful and funny, and have those kind of playful, fun moments.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was so cool to see that you would get those reactions from people outside.
Yeah,
that was really nice.
Yeah. So with all this, what we want to do is we want to challenge you. Think about that one thing you've been putting off.
Yeah, and take a step towards it today and let that journey surprise you.
And if you're listening and you've got your own creative journey, we'd love to hear about it.
Connect with us on social media at Charbi.Online. Share your stories, your challenges, and your wins.
That's Charbi without an E at the end, so just a tidbit.
So that's a wrap for today's episode, folks.
And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform so you'll never miss an episode. And remember, this journey of pursuing your passion isn't always a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, and beautiful surprises.
Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, keep chasing those dreams.